Hello, welcome back to Geordie Rambles. Now it's becoming a bit of a running theme for this channel that it is yet another dark, grey, depressing day. But as I started the channel in winter, that's just how it is. Brighter days will come, I'm sure. But yeah, for now it's another cool day. It's not wet though and it's not windy, so it should be a good day for filming. Now today we are going to be going from Cullercoats through to Whitley Bay. But we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. And I've brought with me a friend. Please meet Joe.
Hi everyone.
This is Joe. We are old friends. Joe, how do we know each other?
So we grew up together, like in Whitley Bay, in this place. I met you we were really young, weren't we? Like 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah. So kind of like oldest friends, really.
And then I moved away to Yorkshire, but we stayed in touch, and then we both went to Newcastle Uni, and and then so just childhood friends, really.
Yeah. And we've kept in touch ever since. And can you tell everyone what today's walk is? Because I didn't know anything about this.
Oh yeah, there's this thing called a treasure trail, where you can download these clues that you have to solve as this puzzle. It's just a nice way to have a game as part of your walk, basically. It's a bit silly, but it's a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, so far I've only done walks from books or from maps or from apps. So I'm quite looking forward to doing something a little bit different today and taking you with us to help solve the clues, I guess, and see what sort of destinations are there. We do have another friend filming who's not going to be on camera today, but again, should give us some more interesting shots. So with that, we're going to start off by going to, is it Cullercoats Metro Station?
Yeah, we start off there.
Do you want to briefly explain what the Metro is?
The Metro, it's the best public transport system in the world, right?
There you go. See you in a minute. Just to give you an idea, here we are at Cullercoats Metro Station. Here's a map of the Metro. Here we are at Cullercoats. We're going to be going to Whitley Bay. Me and Joe grew up in Monk Seaton. Zoom out a little bit. Here's Central Newcastle Monument, Central Station, Haymarket. Got Newcastle Airport over this side. Then south of the river is what we call South Tyneside. Sunderland, what do we think of Sunderland? Ooh. So yeah, I'll just hover on that for a second, just for those who haven't seen the Metro map. To us, this is like one of the most familiar images you could ever imagine to us.
It's like the London Underground map, isn't it? It's like iconic.
Yeah, to us, yeah, to the northeast. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. So we're about to read the first clue out from the treasure trail.
Exciting stuff.
Go on.
First clue. Study the street map by a ticket machine. There were 12 streets / gardens / avenues, etc. named after a first name such as Rufus. One name appears twice. Write this name into the first line of your mission answer grid on the back page of the booklet. So we've got to find.
Let's go. Where is it?
We're walking
that way.
Walking off like we know.
What's the second name? Can we see 2 names?
Well, there's a first name that appears twice. Can we see a first name that appears twice? So we just need a first name that appears twice somewhere on here.
I'm actually just filming rather than looking. So it's so weird. We started doing this treasure trail and there was another family doing it. I've never heard of this before, and now there's lots of people doing it.
I've done lots of these around the country. This is the first time someone else has done it.
That's wild. Same time. Well, here we are in Cullercoats Bay. Many happy childhood here. As you can see, the tide's quite far out, but it does come right up to that line there, as you can see. The harbour was a very busy one about 300 years ago. Wool, salt and coal were all exported from here.
Can you see a time-out fry reel on there too?
Oh yes.
If you zoom in.
We will. Yeah. No, not really.
Yeah.
Time out for another day. And this is, I think it's Newcastle University do marine biology sort of research here. Quite an interesting fact. And Joe, do you have any memories of this beach or?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I did not appreciate living next to the coast at all. But now, every time I come back, having lived in lots of different places since, I really appreciate it. I just think it's so cool to see the boats and the vast sea. And the beaches are really lovely.
Okay, what's the next clue, Joe?
The next clue is we have to learn about the artist Winslow Homer.
Okay, what do we need to know?
One of his paintings from 1881 featured the watch house.
Yeah,
featured the watch house that we just saw further along that street.
Yeah.
We need to note down the third word of the name of the painting that features that house.
It's complex.
But this is part of the fun, though, just learning about the history of the place as well as having fun clues to solve. A bit further, I think. until the road has a sharp left turn.
Not yet.
Right.
Got to make a really awkward conversation now. Like they're doing kind of like, oh, yeah.
Right, it is recorded, or is it off mic, you said?
No, it's on mic.
On mic, right, okay.
So as part of the video, we do a little sort of, just see where we are today. How are we feeling? If it makes you more comfortable, I could start.
No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
Yeah?
good. There's sometimes like lots of pressures in December. Like pressures with just like things going on, but also like there's a lot of like I enjoy Christmas itself as an experience like we've had recently, and I'm just having I'm having a good time. It's nice to see you again, and I'm generally doing good. How about yourself?
I think for me, as I was speaking about in the last video, I don't like winter. Generally, my mood is very, very low over winter. But today, I'm in good company. I'm with friends. We're doing something fun. It's been a real tonic, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to like where we're from, and being a background here feels nostalgic in quite a nice way, though, not in a sort of melancholy way. And I think doing something like this treasure trail helps, because I think sometimes it's got engaging your mind can pull you out of that bit of a slump and a bit of a, do you know what I mean? You're actively engaging in something like this, for example.
I think there's a lot to be said just for like enjoying the moment as well, and like if you get too stressed by things, like I sometimes get stressed by things, and I think of like fun activities or happy things to do.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't always work, but sometimes it helps as well.
It's kind of funny because when people talk about that, sometimes they're like, oh, you need to distract yourself from your low mood. But for me, I think sometimes it's like, it's occupying your mind. It's not a distraction. It's just like, well, I'm going to not be in my head for a bit. I'm going to occupy my mind with something for a bit, as opposed to it being like a distraction. I don't like that terminology.
Yeah, I think especially if you're occupying your mind with something that doesn't have an easy answer, it can help there too, maybe.
What, something challenging, you mean? Or
I'm often like a problem solver, so I try to like do stuff. But like sometimes like there's a situation that you make it as good as you can make it, but it's always like you can't like fully solve it, kind of thing. So it's just, I think like sometimes like that's why it's nice to just break away from it, have some headspace, and go for a nice walk, as you often do.
Something like that,
or like do a fun activity, or just spend time with friends.
Nice.
So this is part of the fun of doing this kind of treasure trail, is we're learning stuff about the place that we grew up in, that we had no idea about. Apparently there's a crack in the Earth's crust here, like just out from Cullercoats Bay.
Has it got a name?
It is, a 90 fathom dike. Is a
90 fathom dike, there you go.
A weak point created 400 million years ago. There's an amazing shipwreck, no fatalities thankfully, but an amazing shipwreck that you can still see at low tide. There's just all this amazing stuff we're learning about the place. We've lived here and not known about this.
So I don't know if we actually knew each other at this point, but I lived on this street.
Whereabouts?
A long time ago.
Like, just along this side.
I lived in an upstairs flat.
Wow.
Just here, up there.
What does it feel like seeing it again?
Feels weird because in the grand scheme of things, it was such a short point in my life I lived there, and it wasn't the happiest of times, I guess. It wasn't the unhappiest either, but for me, when I lived there, I sort of came to the realization that I needed to move away from the northeast of England. That it wasn't quite right for me at that moment, and I think it took living here alone to get there.
Was that like so it sounds like it was kind of like a gut feeling, or was it quite what were you thinking, what was behind that feeling? Was it just a feeling you had?
Just a feeling I had. I felt like everyone else's lives were taking a very specific direction, and I realised I wasn't going to fit into that jigsaw. I wasn't going to be able to do it the way everyone else was, and I needed to do something different. And it brings me perfectly actually into what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about home. I want to talk about what does home mean to you. I want to know where you've lived, talk a bit about where I've lived over the years, obviously here being one of them, and just how you felt and how home has shaped who you are and shaped your feelings. Right, so Joe, tell us a bit about where you've lived, like briefly, like where you were born, where you are now, and sort of everything in between.
Yeah, so I was born in Bradford, but when I was a year old...
Were you?
Yeah, that's true. Like my whole family are from Newcastle, but
Right.
I was born in Bradford when we briefly lived there. But then when I was a year old, literally just a year old, we moved to Whitley Bay. I lived here till I was about 11 or 12, I think. And then I moved down to West Yorkshire. And I came back to university in Newcastle Uni, so back to the northeast. But I've lived in lots of different places. I lived in a couple of different places in the Midlands, like Burton and Leicester. I lived in Nantwich in the northwest.
Yep.
And then for the last 10 years now, I've been living in Middlesbrough.
Okay.
Because I've got a family now, that led to me settling in one place. But yeah, like it is a really interesting theme because like I lived in lots of different places.
Yep. I could definitely relate to that. I was born in Newcastle in North Shields, I think. Lived in Monk Seaton much longer than you. You moved away. I didn't move away till I was 18, where I actually moved to Crewe for university as part of Manchester. Had 3 years there. I then moved home after that. And I'd say that was definitely the trickiest point. I lived with friends in South Gosforth, which is just outside Newcastle.
Yeah.
And then after that, moved back in with mum and dad, back in Monk Seaton. So there's I can see that cycle backwards for me. Then moved to Cullercoats, just to here, to that flat. And now I've lived in London for coming up to, I think it's 9 or 10 years. So you've lived even more places than me, but I do get that when you look back at how many different places you've lived, you think, wow. When you think, generations before us often only lived in one place, that was the norm,
Yeah, I mean, and each person has their own experience, but I think for me, living in different places was good for me.
100%. Yes.
Is really good for my experience. And I mean, in your 20s, when you live in a new place, it can be quite scary, like after university.
Yeah.
But I think it was good for me long term to do that.
Nice.
But yeah, so I think a lot of it is, I think it's good experiences, so it can be scary at times, like building a new home where you don't know anyone.
Do you think everyone should live away from home, or do you think that's an overgeneralization?
I do, but like that's a very subjective, like personal take on it.
Of course.
I do appreciate
I'm the
that.
same, yeah.
But I wouldn't, whether people live away or not, I would encourage people not to be scared by it.
Yeah.
Like there's always ways of like, joining clubs or just going on walks yourself. Just ways of meeting people, getting used to a new place. And it's quite exciting in a way if you can build your own home, like especially if you've been living at home, have your own like independence and
that is exciting when you put it like that.
I mean, some of the most exciting things about my home have been like really mundane things for other people, like just getting my own shoe rack or getting
those little
utensils
details.
Those little details can mean a lot to you on a practical, like on a more emotional level kind of thing. Yeah. But I would recommend it. Like you meet lots of different people, get lots of different views, and there's always like interesting events going on in different places as well.
I agree, but I am aware that some people's circumstances and some people wouldn't be well enough to, like physically and mentally. I'd understand if someone was in a place where they wouldn't be able to do it, but I also completely agree with you to broaden your horizons, basically. And maybe we're speaking from a little bit of privilege.
Yeah,
we were able to do that, to pursue it. But I agree. I totally agree with your sentiment.
I mean, it's important as well, like, if you don't have that privilege and you can't move away, or you just don't want to, which I totally respect, it's good to have, like, something that, I think home's as much, I know it's a bit cliched, but it's as much emotional as physical as well. Yeah. Like, what feels like home, what feels like your own space, and what you enjoy doing, and how you want your life to be. Yeah. And, like, not being afraid to change things if it's not quite worked out exactly the way you want it, which can be a gradual process, can be tricky, but I think that all that's important too. So it's not just like where you are regionally, of course, but yeah, if you do have the opportunity though, I wouldn't be scared of it if you're scared of the unknown. So C4AO, C and AA. So there's an extra C, so the answer is C. Controversial opinion, these are overrated.
You can see Whitley Bay Lighthouse right on the horizon there. A little bit of history about Whitley Bay as well. It was once in sort of Victorian times a very, very popular place to come. People would flock from all over the country. Well, maybe not all over the country, but they'd flock from all over the north of the country, anyway, northern England, to come here. It was a really, really popular destination. So when we grew up here in the 90s, it was very, very dilapidated. none of this was done up like this. This was all sort of, it was really run down buildings everywhere. It was really neglected, but a lot of money's gone into Whitley Bay now, and you'll see that if we go further in, you'd see that. But yeah, in the 90s where we grew up, it was really like, but I liked it. It made for an interesting childhood. It was
like classic seaside charm, wasn't it?
Yeah, like really run down and like that relic of the Victorian era. Do you want to read the next clue out, Joe?
Yeah. So we have to look at this clock. It says Roman numerals on its two faces.
Yep.
So Roman numerals are IVX.
Yep.
So you have to look at how many times the numeral I appears on
how
the
many
clock
times the Roman numeral I appeared on both clock faces?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Spanish city behind us is more than 100 years old.
Wow.
I remember when we were kids, it closed down as a resort, didn't it?
Yeah, it was battered. It was...
Yeah, and they got open again recently, which is really great.
Yeah, totally restoration work. I've done this quite a few years ago now, but yeah, I think it's a fish and chip restaurant now.
Perfect for a seaside.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, quite a famous landmark there behind us, the Spanish City Dome, and it was once a fun fair in sort of behind it, wasn't it?
Even had like a roller
it had full-size roller coaster.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, let's not go to roller coaster facts. Not the channel for it, but yeah, it had a really famous roller coaster at one point. It had the corkscrew, which then moved to Flamingo Land, which is in North Yorkshire, and now it might be in Paris. No, sorry, France.
So, it's been a long walk. Alex really wants to get some water, as you can see.
So, with it being mid-December, it started raining quite badly, so we've come in for a little refreshment before we carry on with the trail. We're about halfway through the trail now, and we're going to be going down onto Whitley Bay Beach next. We've come right along Cullercoats from the front. And I'm just thinking back to what we were talking about earlier about home, and I wanted to ask or have a think about, like, how do you think home affects your well-being and mood?
That's a really good question. It maybe affects how settled you feel. Like if it gives you some stability, like as you go through your life, somewhere to return to.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're out a lot and doing lots of stuff, it just gives you that like stable point to return to. That's your own space and just unwind, I guess. Yeah, what does it mean to yourself?
I'd sort of agree. I think it's actually essential. I think the flat I currently live in London, I feel it's a real retreat away from the city. It's a roof flat, so it's on the top floor. It's not very big, but it's quiet, and it's one of those, do you know those places you go and you instantly feel safe and okay? And it's, you know, it feels like a nest. It's like, it feels like that. Not everywhere I've lived felt like that. Not that anywhere's felt unsafe, but I think it affects your well-being hugely, and I think it's really important. I think it's really important that your home's, like a bit like you saying, set up the way you need it to be.
Yeah.
And I've never lived anywhere. What do I mean? I've never lived anywhere bad. But as I was saying, when I used to live in here in Cullercoats by myself, I never found that a very happy place. But is that because that was an unhappy place, or was that because I was feeling unhappy?
Yeah.
Could that have been a happy place? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point, and it's kind of hard to work that out sometimes as well, like, especially when you're like the maelstrom, like when you're in that moment as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, as I said before, I really think it is the emotional as well as the emotional side of how you're feeling, where you are in your life, alongside like the place you're in.
Have you lived somewhere that's felt unsettled, or even you don't have happy memories of it?
I think I generally had happy memories of the places. I guess I've been fortunate in that way. Like there's been like turbulent things I've gone through and like stressors and things like that. But I think generally like each place I've lived in, like I lived in like two different places in the Midlands and the Northwest. Like you know, I had a home I like enjoyed, and like I mean, I think when I first lived in the Midlands, I was in like rented like accommodation, but which is the first time after university I was in a new place. It was kind of exciting, and then after that I had my own home to settle into, so I was fortunate in that way.
You might not be able to see, it's really started raining. What we're gonna do, we're cutting the, what's it called?
Treasure Trail.
Sorry, we're cutting the Treasure Trail short. It was really fun, and we'll pick it up again in the summer maybe. Just past the local theatre down the road. I was just talking to Joe about how I used to work there. Lots of memories about working at Panto there every Christmas.
Yeah.
It was quite hard work, and obviously part of it is you had to go in and watch the show as part of, well, watch the audience watching the show. So you ended up seeing the pantomime like 67 times.
Looks amazing at night time, doesn't it? Yeah.
It just looks, weirdly it looks bigger even though you can't see it properly. Kind of intimidating.
Very vast. They're very vast and they're overwhelming.
Yeah. We were just saying how there's such a different atmosphere here at night. It's so nice being down on the coast of an evening, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And you would only get that if you lived here all the time, you know what I mean? To get that experience.
Well, you wouldn't normally come out at night time, would you? Like to the seafront. But I mean, you could just, the sound of the waves is like so huge without all the, like, there's no crowds or anything around.
Yeah, it's hypnotic. It's really interesting. Okay, we are going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me, Joe, and for telling us a bit about yourself and your history. And it's been really nice being back in Whitley Bay together, like where we grew up together.
Yeah, it's been lovely. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
I hope you'll come back sometime.
Yeah,
and feature again. Excellent. As usual, please give the video a like. It really helps, and subscribe to the channel for more walks to come. But until then, see you next time.